Restream looks like it might be going now. Test, test, test. It's streaming? Nice. Okay. Thank you. We are back. Ha ha ha. Ah ha ha ha. We are back. I'll wait for a couple folks to come in here. We are back. We are back. JC, give me 1 second here. I will get back to you right now. Let me just let people come in a little bit into the stream. What a mess. I am so back. The real ones are here. That's right. That's all, you know. I gotta have the real ones in there. Right on. Buffering is to separate the fakes from the real. Exactly. Hey, gets it. Buffering is to separate the fakes. Yeah, that's what it's just, those are the wave. Bufferings are the waves that are getting rid of the ones who ain't ready to go the distance. And the ones who are ready to go the distance, listen, they held on to dear life and they stayed tried and true. It's in the word. All right. We're going to go back to JC. JC, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Right
I'm
on.
one. I'm a day one, you would say, right?
That's true. You are day one. That's right. Shout out JC. JC day one as well. Right on.
Yeah, I'm shocked by that too. Anyways, they were cracking me up in the chat. Yeah, they was buffering more when I got on. I tell you, that chat is evil, but they made me laugh sometimes.
Right. I want to say though, I do want to say about what I was about to say is, do you find that you are judging other people for not liking what you may not like, but
absolutely,
but don't. Well, I respect the honesty. I respect the honesty, but don't you think that they have a right to? What if you're wrong?
Not the way that I've seen judgment. The way those people, your fan base, have judged me lately. I'm absolutely going to judge people that don't love me. So I don't care. I'm not God or Jehovah. So no, I technically don't have a right to judge. However, we can just call it what it is: standing up for myself, but standing up for what I believe in.
But do you think judgment is life or death?
What do you mean?
Do you think that judgment is helpful or harmful?
I think it's helpful if people actually listen to why they're being judged and why there's criticisms. I think that is helpful. I don't think it's necessarily harmful if it's in a malicious way. We all have criticisms that we have to face. We all have judgments that we have to face. Nobody likes it, but also it's not going to stop me from judging others, especially when I face so many criticisms. So no.
Do you think that it's good? Do you think that we should judge?
Do you judge, Joel? Have you caught yourself judging?
Yes, but
how do you feel about that?
And well, I'll ask you first, and I ask you first, and then I'll answer what I think. But I do judge, yes. But go ahead.
Okay. Answer your question again, because I did.
Yeah. Do you think that we should judge?
Yes.
And
simply
why?
Because I judge. Simply because, like I say, I think we should judge standing on our morals, standing up for what we believe in. If there's people that we disagree with, we should call them out. And if they're doing things wrong, then they're reserving their right to be judged.
Oh, I understand. I totally understand that, JC. I totally know what you're talking about. And we all, well, I can't speak for everybody, but I do that as well, and I've done that as well. Judging in the sense of wanting to be helpful or correct or call out, but also sometimes getting carried away and doing it for the thrill of it. But one thing that I realized about judgment is that it's a setup. I'm gonna tell you why. Is because all judgment is playing God, right? You're playing God, and what playing God is thinking that you know what right and wrong is. Nobody knows what right and wrong is because right and wrong doesn't exist, right? Because what is right and wrong? Let's go even further. Right and wrong is the knowledge of good and evil, and the knowledge of good and evil is what Adam and Eve learned of after they ate from the apple, the forbidden apple they weren't supposed to eat. So what happened is they gained this intellectual idea of good and evil when it doesn't even, the right and wrong doesn't even exist, right? It's just life.
Don't say right, but that's wrong.
And life is just life, things that give life and things that give death. But also, it doesn't make them right or wrong. It's just life. So judgment.
How does right and wrong not exist, sir?
You said what?
How does right and wrong not exist?
Because what it is just controlling. It's deceptive. It's making you look at other people instead of looking yourself. It's making you look down on other people instead of building them up. All it does is cause destruction.
Sir, okay, let me tell.
Do you agree with that or no?
No, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
No, and I know you try to do that whole Jesse thing where you'll be like, do you agree with this? No, I don't agree with that. Absolutely, you're wrong on that.
Okay.
Right and wrong exists. Now, I mean, look at it when we're just learning as children. We learn the right things to do and the wrong things to do. We learn how to what disciplines us, and we learn those lessons. There's nothing bad about right and wrong because there does come those life lessons. Think about when you're taking a test. Even with the students you used to teach, right? If their choreography was wrong and the stuff, you were going to let them know. It wasn't to belittle them. It was to try to train them to be better, but that you don't want them to have the wrong steps and be looking off in the choreography and in their formations, correct?
Right. The concept makes sense, and you're right about that. But the thing is, where I disagree is that those lessons, those things that happened where they didn't do the move properly was just them learning how to get on track to doing the thing that's proper, right? So it was just leading them to what is right, what is of the light. But it doesn't mean that is bad. It doesn't mean that is. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, because this is your show, and I do want to hear your statement.
No, it's all good. Go ahead. No worries. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, think of it even in 2024 when you and I are talking. You think it's wrong when I address the chat and I want to say things. You're like, no, don't do that or I'll have to hang you up. So obviously you're seeing right and wrong. So I don't understand your ideology sometimes, or you'll say things like right and wrong doesn't exist.
Okay, I'll give you can I give you an example?
Yes, and then I have a bigger message on what you're actually asking.
Okay.
On what I'm actually hearing you say.
Okay. I'll give you an example. And then somebody. Okay, hold on one second. Let me screenshot
Somebody
that.
want to talk to me?
No. So, I'll give you an example. This is how I see it. Is a car battery, right? It has a positive a side of the battery and it has a negative side of the battery, right? But without the positive and without the negative, the battery wouldn't work. Neither one of them are wrong. They're both used together to make the whole. So I see it in that way. I don't see it as wrong to have this other side of life, or this side that doesn't lead to life, right? There's life and death, but I don't see life or death as wrong or right. these are just things that work together that ultimately point back to God if you're aware and paying attention. But I don't see it as right and wrong, as if doing things that don't bring life are wrong or whatever. I don't see it like that.
Joel, where do you get these ideologies from?
Does that make sense though with the car battery? I think that was pretty good.
You was really trying to go somewhere with that, but again, you're still trying to prove that right and wrong doesn't exist the same way. Like, this is on the same streamline as you saying you don't identify as a heterosexual man or as a Christian and stuff, even though that's on the same wavelength. All of that is I don't understand where you get your ideologies from.
Because all those things, because think about it. Just think about right and wrong. All that does is bring somebody conflict within. All it does is make somebody mad. All it does is make somebody feel a certain type of way. But if you don't have this identity with it, then you can be free and not feel it. The only reason, but I want to tell you, this is the way you know that a person can know if they're judging. And I do it, and I'm still working on it too. But it's how somebody knows that they're judging is if they care about what somebody else says. If you care about what somebody else says, you're judging because you're trying to control what they say, what they do, instead of letting them live their own life and be themselves. I gotta mind my own business. JC gotta mind his own business. You be whatever you believe right is or of good or whatever you believe in. You do that and don't worry about other people.
But I'll give you a little bit of that because yes, there are things that I care about that I hear from people, like you and your good buddy Hate there. Yes, I'm name dropping. When he says things and stuff, yeah, I care. Yeah, I care because there's a lot of hurtful things that you all say, and that makes me have an emotional reaction, and it makes me want to stand up. Yes, there's a little bit of judgment, but if there's more reason of me being passionate because some of those things that y'all say are so hurtful and filled with so much hatred, and I want y'all to be educated. I want y'all to be better. And yes, there are times when I find myself praying for you all to the point where, and you'll enjoy this, after when I talked to you on Monday, and I went to my therapy appointment, and I was talking about you and your show in my therapy session for about 20 minutes. There's so many things that I know your audience is going to love that I just said that. But literally, there's so many things that you all say that just makes me question and ponder. I'm and I don't like questioning the Lord, but I have to ask him, God, what are you doing to these gentlemen to make them think these things?
Oh, perfect, JC. That was perfect right there. This is what I encourage you to do on the next time that comes up. Don't ask God, why are these people this way? Ask God, how could I be better? Why am I affected by this? Ask God about you. Don't ask, and that's why oftentimes people don't grow or they get caught up in the judgment, is because they're so worried about other people. Ask God to reveal the truth to you. God, tell me what is true about this situation. Because right now it sounds like you're just saying, God, what is wrong with them? Instead of saying, God, what is wrong with me?
Same thing.
Ask God. I never, not one time say, God, what's wrong with that person? And if I do, I'm acting up. I always say, God, what is wrong with me? I always look at me and fix me. Because when that happens, you can learn how to be the example. But if you just going to God about other people, what the?
I promised you I was going to say something where I think you were trying to get with the bigger message of this. So I will say that. Hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
Hurt people.
I'm with you on that.
Numerous times have shown how emotional I can get with and about the things that you all say, and it triggers me. I don't want to wish physical harm on y'all, but I don't mind arguing with y'all or debating with y'all to try to help y'all to become better. And yes, I do ask the Lord. Obviously, I'm in therapy. I do ask the Lord, what's wrong with me? Why am I having to be seen like this? Outside of everybody in the chat that calls me a fake Christian for also being a gay Christian, when they take that away and stuff, there's other things that I'll try to ask myself, what is wrong with me? Why am I being attacked like this when there's not always times when I've shown my evil side and stuff. Yes,
Right.
there's times when I'm very evil and malicious, and your homeboy over there, he knows that and stuff. I made him say a bad word today, but yeah, but no, it's literally like I do work on myself. I do ask myself how I can be a better person and a
Nice.
better Christian.
Right
Even
on.
with my enemies, how I can love you all a lot better.
Okay, well, I take that back then. Maybe you do. I don't know. That's between you and God. I have nothing to do with that. So maybe you
I've
do
got
that,
one more question. I'm
but
so sorry. I got one more
okay, one
question.
last
My
question, then
mother
I got to
called.
end.
Okay, my therapist wanted me to actually ask you this. Like, if I'm talking to you, am I actually making an impact with you, or is it just like talking to a brick wall?
Well, that's a good question. I never I don't see myself as I don't see myself closed off to anything. We disagree and that's fine, but I'm always open to take what is good and throw out what I deem to be not fit. But I'm not closed off to it. So if you said anything, then and I didn't acknowledge it or whatever, then maybe you planted a seed. So there could be things. I also do know one thing that I do know for sure is that I understand more that there are things that I believe to be true that other people like yourself don't believe to be true. And when I say certain things, it has an effect on you. Whether or not you should be affected is another thing, but it still does have an effect. So I always keep that in mind when using certain things with certain people. So a little
What are
bit.
some of those things that, such as like the things that you believe are true that you feel like I don't believe is true?
Well, now I can't think, but I mean, pretty much everything that believe is true, you disagree with, like right and wrong, for example.
Because you'll say things, you'll say, yeah. I mean, we do disagree, but there's also like, even with like our stance on God and stuff. What we were talking about yesterday. I'm not this like big time Bible thumper or whatever. I'm just a Christian. I'm just a
Nice,
Christian Baptist man that's supposed to be talking to fellow Christians to try to enrich my life and try to enrich yours. But
nice.
we don't get that. We always have this disagreement about Christ, and we both claim that we're Christians. So it's like
Well,
there's only so much we can do and discuss before it's like at some
yeah.
point one of us have to be in to be like, well, we tried, we gave it our best effort, but
Well, I'm not
he's not.
against it. Yeah, I'm not against it, JC. I mean, I don't mind having a conversation, and also we just have different views on the things. And I could be wrong about some things, and you could be wrong about some things, or whatever the case is. And we're using right and wrong as a conversation, right? But if that's the case, then that's fine. And we just it's no big deal. But I still appreciate the conversation, and I enjoy talking to you. If I didn't, I wouldn't pick up the phone. So
Right.
yeah, it's all good.
I appreciate you too. I'm thankful for our conversation. I give the audience another 30 minutes since there was buffering. Give them another 30 minutes. It's Thanksgiving.
Right on, JC. I appreciate it. And thank you for calling, man, and have a good Thanksgiving, you and your family.
Shout out to the Lions, then. Bye bye.
All right. I gotta end in a sec. I really gotta end here in a second because I got places I gotta be. What the? I'm trying to eat, but I did have some breakdown issues. That's why I'm extending it a little bit. And office is closed today here at Bond, so I got a little bit more free time to give to give you guys, especially with the stream issues. So let me just read these super chats. Um, so Let me read the super chats. Kelly's on a roll. Kelly says, total submission to the will of God. Thank you, Kelly. You're right. Total submission to the will of God. Amen. Right on, Kelly. Let me check it over here on YouTube. Super chats. Amazing stuff. Shout out to the folks who came to the new stream with all that buffering. I appreciate it. But hey, this is just food for thought, okay? Just food for thought. But just know this, and just a little tip when you go hang out with the family today about judgment that might make it a better environment to hang out in is if you have any type of feeling about what anybody says, whether you believe is to be right or wrong, that's judgment. You care. If you have a care about it and you want to correct it, if you have a desire to correct it, just know that it's judgment. That's just my opinion, guys. You guys don't have to believe it. You guys don't have to agree. If you feel anything about it and you care about it and you want to correct it, just know that you're judging and that's you trying to control them. Let them have it, right? You trying to control is just as bad as them doing whatever they're doing. So if you care or if you feel anything and you want to just correct, just know that you're judging. You are being judgmental because you're identifying with right and wrong, and whatever they're doing in your eyes is wrong, and you want to be Mr. Right and correct. I do it. I understand. But I'm starting to recognize more and more that I'm just being judgmental. Ain't nobody really care, and it ain't changed nobody, and it ain't changed nothing. Now they just mad at you. You just made somebody mad now, and they still feel the same way they feel. Now they hate you. And now everybody having a bad time at Thanksgiving. Let them have it. God let you have your stuff. God lets us have our little lies. And chest puffed out chest stuff. So let them have it. And you'll find that you feel so much more relaxed and carefree and peaceful. So that's all I'm saying. All right, y'all. That was fun today. Shout out Thanksgiving. Tar Baby says, Joel, would you consider being a blank Christian if there is nothing wrong with it? If not, why, Joel? Would you consider being a blank Christian? I wouldn't identify it with it being that way. Tar Baby Yoda. He says, I can't even say it on air. I wouldn't identify with it because that's not who I am. A blank Christian. So it's not wrong because it's not who you are. And it's not right either. It's not even real, it doesn't even exist. So you thought you got me on that one, Tar Baby. Matthew with the super chat just now. Christ came to divide the family. Happy Thanksgiving Day. Perfect peace over here at my kids' table. Do you have gratitude, Joel? I do have gratitude. Sometimes I gotta remember to be grateful. But I do have gratitude. Thank you, Matthew. Right on. It's just life, y'all. It's just life. We're just living life. There's things that lead to life and there's things that lead to death. But I wouldn't call them right or wrong because identifying with right or wrong only causes you issues. That's what makes people want to go do kill and steal or sin, right? It's because they feel all the pain and conflict from identifying with right and wrong. If nobody identified with right or wrong, I'm talking about felt it and identified with it or judged, nobody would do right or wrong. It's only Satan's people, the side of evil, that identifies with right or wrong, which is why they have conflict. This is why we feel conflict when we do it. But if you didn't identify with right or wrong, because we really don't know right or wrong, we really don't know what that even is, then we wouldn't have the temptation or the feel good when we do. I gotta go. No more talking from me. I gotta go eat some baked potato and a baked macaroni, yams and turkey and ham and stuffing and Cornish hens and rice. All right, y'all. Have a good weekend. Have a good day. I'll be back here next Monday. The Lord is willing. The creek is cool with it. Appreciate you guys. Super chats, buy me a coffees, support, calls. Man, y'all my friends. I appreciate it. Have a good one. And until next time, y'all, I gotta go. See you on the flip.